why do you do what you do? And if you have some of the stories that pertain to that why.
Hmm. I think the main reason I do what I do is because my family likes food and a roof over their head.
Well said. Well said.
That's probably the like presumed, right? That's everyone starts off right away. Um, I I think one of the bigger reasons why I do what I do, working as a fractional COO is there's a lot of people with great ideas that start their business and it gets complex and they don't have somebody managing that complexity. And so at some point their business is at risk for failing because it's so complex and they think they have everything, but it's starting to come apart and they're getting stressed out and overworked. And I really believe that these businesses, they're part of a community. They're hiring people, they're putting out expenses to hire staff, and then those people they live in the community. So the business owner, their profits and earnings, they're spending it locally, and so I'm worried about these smaller businesses that are part of these small communities. That if they fail, then those jobs go away, those products go away, those services go away, and somebody's livelihood and the families that they were supporting all go away. And so I can help business owners become more efficient and run their businesses better, get them to a place where they can actually pass it on to somebody else. Then the community gets to benefit by having a local employee, a local business that's providing goods and services, that's hiring local people, that's spending the money locally, and basically helping that community survive.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. And what what do you get um out of the whole process?
Well, I get to live in my purpose and vision, which is helping other people realize their vision.
Uh, That's
So,
awesome.
yeah, I
Yeah.
don't like I don't like being CEO of my own business. I wish I could be COO of my own business, but I have to be CEO of my own business. But when I work as a fractional COO, I get to be fractional COO for other people. So I get to live in the fullness of that.
Yes, that's awesome. Um, how what inspired you? Like, what's the story behind what, like, hey, this is something that happened, and this is why I went into the CEO world. Like, and what impact did that have on your life? I think I would love to hear all those.
Yeah, I think I mentioned before that, my dad was a laborer growing up. He was a UPS driver. I'm great company. They took care of him. Um, but it was hard work, and so now he's in retirement years, and um, it took a toll on him. It was a lot, and so uh, but he was always worried about being fired, or when you work for somebody else, you're always concerned about those kind of things, and so working for myself kind of frees me from that worry or concern. You know, what if the company goes under tomorrow? Okay, well, I have 6 clients, so if one of them goes under, I still have 5 other resources. So, um, I think setting myself up as my own business as a consultant gives me that freedom that I don't have to be tied to one person and one business success. Um, yeah, so and that's big, and I don't know. I've managed to make it work, and so that's great. And the best thing you can ever do in when you're talking to people about challenges or problems is to be right. And so, having a livelihood that's based on how I've decided to set things up, it's working and I'm helping people and I'm able to take care of my family. And I found a different way to do it. I don't think what my dad did was wrong. I think it worked for him. I think it worked for the way our economy worked and the way the systems were built, many years ago. But now, as you know, we're seeing massive layoffs in government. We're seeing layoffs in companies. It's not guaranteed that you're going to be able to work for one company for 20 or 30 years.
Yeah.
There's no guarantees anymore. So,
Yeah, and with the AI revolution, like I think more than I don't know how many jobs would actually be under like scrutiny of getting fired or replaced or advanced if you're not upgrading yourself with it, and most people aren't. They still aren't. They're using it to some extent, to the basic extent, like probably a high schooler can use, I think, but not most people are not using it the way they should to save themselves time.
Yeah, and we use AI, and there's actually a couple processes that it was taking me and two of my team members about 10 to 15 hours a week to manage.
Yeah.
And once we got AI and automation kind of take over that process, that was like all of a sudden now I'm paying $10 $10 a month to an AI service that's now taking on this work that was taking arguably a couple $100 worth of employee costs and time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and it didn't get rid of those employees. Those employees are still doing work, but now they're leveraging those tools. And so their productivity is going through the roof. And I'm able to empower them and enable them to do even more work by giving them a tool and resource to help assist with some of the day-to-day grindy stuff. So
Yeah. And I want to add to that though. Like, so there's two sides to the equation in this. And I think, yes, AI replaces jobs, but like 50, 100 years ago, people traveled to trains more than they travel to planes now. So, like, all those people who were getting a nice paycheck by being in that industry are not here anymore because airplanes came through, right? And what to say in the next 10, 15, 20, or 100 years?
sorry,
That's
say
good.
that again.
So, what's to say in the next 10, 15, 20, or 100 years? Like, airplanes would be like obsolete. We were like, hey, and they'll talk about airplanes like, oh, I can't believe people used to spend 8 hours a day to travel from like New York to Texas or to go across the country, and now you can do it in 10 minutes, right? So like that will come a time, and I think AI is in a way a same agent. If you don't use AI as a business owner and you're not using it to the ability to be more efficient and save your own time, um, you put yourself in a disadvantage where if everyone around you is using it, right? Every in your the people you're competing with, they're going to be far ahead than you will be. And I think that same goes with other places where people, if they don't know how to implement AI the right way, um, you fall behind, and then you get replaced with someone who can.
I mean, it is new technology,
Yeah.
and it's looks a little bit different than other technology, but look at when the typewriter came out.
Yeah.
All the people that used to handwrite stuff, like all of a sudden it's typing, and then the computers came out, and then people are like, "Oh no, what are we going to do with all the people that can type?" And so, technology is advancing. We need to learn to incorporate technology, and I think I don't remember the article I read, but basically now, just like a lot of businesses need to have some tech enablement, including like websites and SEO and email and all this other stuff that you didn't need 20 years ago or 40 years ago. You need to have some tech enablement. The future is having AI enablement as part of your core business process. And what does that look like? That's I think that's going to become the standard for a lot of businesses. And if you don't have it, then you're going to be at a disadvantage. Not that you can't win, but you're going to be in a place where, hey, a good example of that is like websites when they first came out. Not everyone that had a website, you could still run a business and do fine. Now you're at a place where you kind of need a website, even if it's not doing everything. At least when people go look you up, they're like, oh, okay, I see you have a website. I can see who you are. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not an early adopter. I think AI when it was in formation in the last like 10 years, 5, 10 years, I wasn't really super into it, but in the last couple of years it's gotten better. And now because we have data integration tools and everything else, I was like, you know what? I'm not an early adopter. I'm kind of that next phase on that bell curve. I'm
Yeah.
in that, and I'm figuring it out. And yeah, it's exciting. I think it's a great opportunity, and we've done some experimentation, and we've definitely gone down some rabbit holes too. So I'm going to tell you, this is you need a little R&D budget to experiment with AI and how to
Yeah.
implement that.
But going back to your stories of like, hey, why you doing what you do, I think um, it all also comes down with like, hey, if you help people in your circle, the people that you're serving win, right? You win with them, right?
Yeah, I mean that's so the premise of how we set things up is we want to always provide more value than we capture.
Correct.
Because then if I can help a business earn $100,000 and they've only given us $50,000, there's what are they gonna? They
Yeah.
can't be mad, right? But
Yeah.
But some people, it's like, hey, I gave you $50,000 worth of service, and if it didn't work, that's on you. Like, no, 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 don't do that.
Yeah,
Create value, you know.
yeah,
So
exactly. Yeah, you want, obviously you want people who are accountable to the actions that you provide them. And like
yeah,
if doctor tells me like, hey, you need to do these exercises, take this medicine, and I don't do that, like, is it doctor's fault that I went to the doctor and paid the doctor for his consultation, or is it my fault for not doing it? Or
yeah,
maybe I need to hire someone who will do that for me with me, right? Maybe I need a
right,
nurse with it. Like, I need a nurse to make sure I do all these things. It'll make me do it like kid, but like, it's the either or scenario.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's interesting. So yeah, so going back to kind of like why I do this, I people need help, and people need different types of help, and I can do operations. I enjoy it. It's fun, and um, it is interesting when you sit across the table from someone that is your ideal client, and they don't want to do operations. They know they need it, and they want to pay somebody to do it. And then you're sitting across the table saying, "This is what I do."
Mhm.
It's a win-win because they're so excited because they're like, "Here, you can take this," and then I'm like, "Yay, I get this to do this work." It's fun.
Thank you for being here today. I'm really happy that you tuned in to Vision Pros Live. I'm looking forward to seeing your reactions as these episodes continue to move forward. This is going to get more and more fun. We'll have more and more engagement as well. We'll invite people to participate in the show. And thank you for giving us your time and attention. Have an excellent time building out your vision and becoming a Vision Pro yourself.